Do you have two Instagrams? Uh,
Yes, I do.
okay, we're live. Good
Can
morning,
I,
Good
everyone.
morning.
can I say one
This,
thing? Happy birthday!
Thank you, Yukino. It's
Happy
still
birthday!
it's still a celebration of birthdays for sure. And it was such a great time. So many amazing things yesterday. It was wonderful. So it's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Meet you.
I love it. Love it. Love it. I actually even slept in, which is unusual for Kiltz. All
Yukino, where are
amazing.
you?
I am in Sydney, Australia.
Okay.
Yes.
all right,
Yes.
everybody. If you let us know where you're watching from. Hashtag KMT for a chance to win a.
Let's see. Let's see a Kiltz Cup.
Okay. We're going to be talking to Yukino in a moment. If you have any questions for her, please put them in the chat. QQQ. I am going to take a moment to review some of the meetings we're going to be having tomorrow, later today at Melbourne. If anyone is in Florida, you're still in time uh, to go to kiltzmeetup.com and you can find all the events there. And if you're not a member of the Kiltz Mighty Tribe, sign up. Go to Dr. Kiltz or go to the description wherever you're watching. You should have the website there to sign up.
That's right.
All right, Yukino,
Hi.
how are you doing this morning?
Well, it's actually evening in Sydney, but yeah,
Okay.
great. Yes, just ready for podcast.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what is your story, why you're carnivore, um, and all the good stuff about you, and maybe the stories of healing that you've had.
Yes. Thank you, and thank you for inviting me today. So I live in Sydney, Australia currently. I'm Japanese. So back then, when I was in Japan, I was a yoga teacher, and also I was a nurse. So I studied nursing. So because of my background, I've always been into diet and exercise. So especially since I started yoga practice in 2011, I noticed that what I eat has big impact on my yoga practice. So I actually started skipping dinner. So since 2011, 12, and then I actually became a vegetarian after that. So when it comes to yoga, a lot of yoga practitioners tend to become a vegetarian or vegan. And one of my friends back then, she was like, "Oh, if you eat like animal that has eyes, so usually animal has eye, you actually take over their karma." So it doesn't sound good to me. So I stopped eating meat since then. And then eventually I became a vegan, especially after coming back from India. So the reason why I became a vegan, actually not only yoga. So I came across YouTube video, the David Sinclair. So he actually advocates a vegan diet because he said that we can promote autophagy by removing animal products from our diet because certain amino acid, especially leucine, um, the potent activator of mTOR pathway. So if you actually have elevated mTOR, you probably inhibit autophagy. All right. Okay, then because I'm a guinea pig, I wanted to give it a try, and also in yoga. So we have like a called, there's an idea, it's called ahimsa. So ahimsa means no violence. So you should not cause any harm to others. That is the kind of yoga idea. So for me, like, because I am a yoga practitioner, so it sounds very nice, like spiritually and health, uh, physically, it sounds great. So I tried vegan diet. Actually, I felt great for the first 3 months. I did not eat any processed food. I just ate, a whole food, plant-based diet. But I developed some health issue, especially digestive issue was really horrible for me. Every meal, after meal, I had bloating, and especially when I eat like a dark leafy green, I had terrible diarrhea. So my digest my digestion was quite poor, so I couldn't probably absorb enough nutrient. So I was underweight. So how it was like 92 pounds. My
Wow.
weight was 92 pounds, yes. And it had me into 7 months on a vegan diet. So I was just leaning forward. I put my weight on my toes, and then my bone snapped, and I got fractured. And I was 34 years old female and eating healthy diet and do exercise and go fracture. It wasn't right. So I had to stop it. And I start reintroduce some animal products, and yeah, I healed the fractures. And one day when I was scrolling a TikTok video, I came across Bella's video, and she was eating a block of butter, and I was shocked. I had never seen anyone who eating butter like this way. And I checked her page, and it was carnivore diet. And she was a former vegan, and she healed her body through carnivore diet. So I delved into carnivore diet, and then I check Dr. Robert, your video, and Anthony Chaffee, and Sean Baker, Ken Berry. And then I decided to go for carnivore diet for 3 months. Actually, it wasn't easy for the first 2 weeks, because I constantly kind of depended on just carbohydrate when I was on vegan. So it wasn't easy. But after 2 weeks, I felt great, especially my digestive issue. All digestive issue is gone within 24 hours. Because I can eat as much as I want until I'm satiated. But my tummy is still flat after meal. I was so happy. I actually gained weight because I was underweight, and I become 103 pounds. But it didn't mean I become like fluffier. I become actually leaner, has more muscle. And because I can generate more heat than before, I used to have a cold hand or feet. I don't have anymore, which is really great. I think a period cramp. I used to have period cramp, completely gone. And I do not have any PMS. Like a lot of my colleague, friends, they always said that, oh, I think my period is coming. I'm not comfortable. And then, especially for the first 3 days, I also experienced a crazy blood flow. Like I don't know, I can say that, but when we use pad, it's flooding. And then, but that actually stopped since I started carnivore. So no crazy blood flow, and then no pain, and then no PMS.
It's crazy.
happy. Yeah, it's so happy. I'm so happy. Because it's so happy. I think that I really want all females to experience this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, and also, I used to have like chronic fatigue because I work as a massage therapist. So I work as a massage therapist, and it's demanding physically. Then I used to hit the wall at end of the day, but I don't feel the way anymore. I quite manage my workload easily, so it's really good. A lot of things because I live in Australia. If I go under the sun, I always got some lashes, but now I just get tanned, so I don't have to apply sunscreen, but just get tan, then no rashes.
Nice.
Yes, I think So that's my experience. Oh, another thing, I have injury on my list. I used to have. I think the pain was gone within couple weeks since I started carnivore. But before, I had been having this pain more than 2 years. Yes. Yeah, that's my experience.
What was the thing that happened the fastest? Resolving.
Digestive issue. Yes, because I noticed that just by removing fiber from my diet, I do not have any discomfort. So that was actually a big thing because every after meal when I was on vegan, I have crazy bloating all the time.
Yeah.
I still remember when I used to teach yoga in Japan. Also, I wasn't pregnant. I think one of my students told me, "Oh, Yukino, are you pregnant?" And I was, "No, no, I am not." But because constantly I had like a bloating, then that's kind of okay. I understand why you said it. Yeah.
Dr. Kiltz?
This is such a common story. And we've all fallen for the plant paradigm. We've all fallen for the sort of the standard story that plants are healthy and meats are bad. And we've all grown up with them around the globe, wherever you're at, and ultimately, the complicated stories. mTOR, right? That's a very complicated story, and then you got Huberman and Attia and so many complicated stories of you need these amino acids and you need these supplements, right? And ultimately, this is the snake oil, because the simplicity of carnivore, and there's what poisons are in carnivore diet, right? None, and no fiber, and the microbes are suppressed, and we feel better. And so, you're seeing this change, and would you look at it and say that ultimately we've been brainwashed, and that's our biggest problem with the complicated science?
Yes.
So even the metabolic pathways of ketosis and we have a metabolic switch from glucose to fat as energy, which is all a story that scientism basically has, and then you get a degree, and then we think because you have a degree that makes you somehow smarter than our ancient brothers and sisters who hunted. And is what was the staple of the diet you were raised on, before you went vegan?
Oh, I think in Japan we mainly eat rice and some fish, some vegetable. That's quite common. My hometown, especially, we did not eat so much meat, but instead, because of Japan, we had quite a lot of access to fish and seafood. So we mainly eat, I think, fish, even when I was a kid.
Raw fish or cooked fish?
Both. It depends. But I think mainly we eat raw fish.
So how has this way of eating shifted your mindset and lifestyle?
Honestly, it's really confused. It was confusing me in the beginning because the idea of vegetable is healthy still stick into my mind. Like, because so when I studied nursing, we did not run so much nutrition, to be honest. We just run more how to take care of patient, or like a basic, like a basic knowledge about physiology or anatomy. But so I was kind of skeptical. But again, like I have experienced so much improvement through this diet. So honestly, I don't know I do not know what is good or what is bad. And especially now I have like my cholesterol is skyrocketing. My total cholesterol is like more than 500. And some people say, oh, you're going to die because of heart attack. But I don't feel that way. I feel just great. So I'm still actually a little bit confusing, but I'm still confused. But I think it should be a good thing to me.
Is rice in and of itself poisonous? Or in truth, is small amounts of white, well-cooked rice with fatty meat and you eat less frequently okay to eat? Dr. Nelson, I don't, it's sort of, I mean, do we have a requirement? Have we scientifically proven that there's a requirement for certain minerals and vitamins that you must get in plants that aren't provided in a fully animal-based diet?
You can probably provide all the nutritional elements from your diet on a carnivore diet. On the rice issue, some people tolerate small amounts from time to time, like you say. Some other people might be at a point where, that's not even helpful.
So
what do you think?
I actually don't see any problem. I mean, physically so far. So that means probably I get enough nutrients.
Well, maybe the truth is plants and animals provide all of the nutrients, but the plants are chelators and they contain toxins. So in fact, our problem isn't a lack of some mineral or vitamin or macro. It's basically we're poisoned, and in the way we eat, 3 meals a day, snacking in between, and in fact, a low animal fat diet is probably our biggest problem because people are afraid of fat on their plates and on their bodies. And now we have this massive run for GLP-1, and let's take a drug to be skinny. And has that been helpful for us?
No, definitely no.
We're simply domesticated animals, are we not? The fight for power and supremacy.
If you have any questions for Yukino, just put them in the chat. QQQ. I think we have a question, Alia.
Yeah, we've got let's see. Terry asks, has your yoga improved since you went carnivore?
Well, I would say like at least I don't have to suffer from digestive issues. So I would say, I don't say improve, but it's the same. Just because I have to deal with, when I was on vegan diet, I had to deal with still like digestive issues. So when it comes to yoga practice, if you have some digestive issue, because yoga practice itself massaging your organs, it is said. So it's very difficult. So when it comes to the carnivore diet, because all my digestive issue is gone, so I feel better or like easy to deal with my yoga practice. I don't say like a really improve, but yes. I would say yes, not really improve, but I think might make my yoga practice easier. Yes.
Great. I'm sure Dr. Kiltz will be back in a second. Maybe Dr. Nelson or somebody. Doesn't rice tend to absorb cyanide if it's in the soil?
Perhaps cyanide is not the bigger problem in white rice. Arsenic might be. Most of them stay under the. I don't know that there's a safe limit, but stays under the safe limit. I grew up on white rice. Don't touch it anymore. So I won't be getting any of the arsenic or cyanide from it anyways.
Yikes. Let me see. I think I had a question. No, I forgot what it was. Like, here's Dr. Kiltz. Here we go.
Do you do any fasting, Yukino?
Yes. Actually, so I haven't eaten dinner since 2013 because of my yoga practice. Because if I have dinner next morning, I suffer from digesting food. So I prefer skip dinner. But I used to do like a long-term fasting, like 7 days, but it was too much for me because I become really underweight. So, but apart from that, I don't do like an intense or like an intense fasting. Then I think I watched the YouTube with like a Dr. Loeb was talking with Anthony Chaffee, and then it actually inspired me because you also like skipping the 1 meal per day. What was it? I think. Yeah, I also probably watch.
Yeah, 1 meal a day is the simplest thing that any human can do. Is eat less frequently, allow the gut to heal the glycocalyx, which will allow the gut. The glycocalyx is the sugar shield that protects every cell of our body. Plus, it's the transmitter and receiver of all information and knowledge. And so, that's the easiest. So 1 meal a day or less in fasting, because most of us carry fat. Well, we all carry fat. If you have no fat on your body, you're in the morgue. Fat is critical for survival, and it is the most important cellular tissue of the body. Muscles is not important. The organ systems are not important, because if you have no fat, you are dead. And that's the amazing story to this. And 1 meal a day is like masterful. If you eat it, I say at night, eat your meal at night. Now your digestion able to do all of its work while you're sound asleep, which is now allows the fat to be made in the liver out of the amino acids and sugars from either animals or from plants. And the fat, which most people don't eat, even carnivores do not eat much in the way of fat. Avocado is not fat. Olive oil is not fat. These are rendered products, industrial products that are not natural to the human evolution. I mean, how many avocado trees did we have in the savannah, Dr. Nelson?
Probably none.
None. And so the 1 meal a day is like the magic, but it's kind of interesting. There's a bill that was passed in 2019 in New York outlawing the forced feeding of ducks and geese to make, or goose to make foie gras. And so they were just supported. The animal rights people were overjoyed by this historic victory for animals and grateful for that New York City's right to govern itself was made strong. So what the bill basically said, it outlawed foie gras, which is basically force feeding of the goose. But we haven't outlawed force feeding of human beings, have we? We support that even more. And so we want to save the ducks. And Rick, I don't know if Rick force feeds his ducks, but it's the craziness. By simply one meal a day, your body goes like, okay, now I can do my healing work and repair and get rid of all those microbes. They say the microbiome is the healthiest thing for us. Which microbe do you want in your brain and your blood? None. And fat is one of the other things because, and this is where you're saying you were watching Steak and Butter Gal, and Bella, and it's amazing. But just eating butter suppresses the microbes. It's the best antimicrobial, butter, and that's where like chicken broth came in. But there's no more. Chicken broth doesn't have fat anymore. They've already skimmed it off because everyone's afraid of fat.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of bone broth, question: would the best treatment for gastritis be fasting? My sister made bone broth. Is that helpful?
Fat and fasting are the two simple treatments, and fat comes from an animal, and oils come from plants, and industrial plants are actually the number one source of plant oils because they're highly toxic for humans, and they're not intact cells of an animal which contain all the building blocks and the nutrients. And what toxic chemical is in adipose tissue, doctor? None.
Is this a thing? Meatless Mondays? Meatless Mondays.
In New York, yeah.
Oh,
New York is now they claim they live longer, but they're all doing it on drugs. We've got a drug for you. I mean, it makes no sense. I want to fight the fight of life and be on the savannah, and we're the hunters and the lions, not the sheep. They've fenced us in.
that's right.
And all the complicated stories. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
Oh my God. Oh.
I have a question for you, Yukino. So any of your clients, have you gotten them to switch their diets? No. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
No, never.
No?
Everyone said that to me, like, "Oh, you must be constipated," and I said, "Well, do you know what constipation is?" But I mean, clients, I don't really argue with them. But yeah, they used to just laughing at me.
What is constipation, Dr. Nelson?
The inability to poop, hard stools, or a lot of people get confused with I haven't gone since yesterday, I must be constipated. No, if you're having very hard stools and able to pass them, okay, that may be constipation. And actually, most carnivores don't have that.
Do you worry about your heart beating? It's like, oh, well, my heart, I got to make sure it's beating, right? Oh, I got to make sure I'm breathing.
If I'm worrying about it, it means it's beating, right?
Yeah. And so ultimately, we've been driven to the stupidity of, did you poop today? I think that's all, marketing to sell toilet paper or Tums or all these drugs. I mean, the madmen of the world basically manufactured a story, and it's basically killing us. My constipation, it was bloating, pain, bleeding, and so if you just kind of wait, will the poop eventually say, "Oh, you better have a place to put this"? And the last I looked, for the first 3.5 million years, nobody was like, kind of cared about it, right? It just was another one of those beating hearts, breathing lungs, moving muscles, and all the symphony of every cell of the body that's doing the work it does. But I mean, how many people die of mushrooms or infections brought upon by the plants that all the microbes love? They all work together to kill us, make us fertilizer.
What do your family and circle of friends think about the way you eat?
I think they think I'm a bit weirdo because I just went for opposite. I was a vegan and now a carnivore. Oh, you know what's going on? I think they think I'm crazy, but I think because now I look quite healthy than before. So actually, some people like ask me, how do you feel on this diet? Yeah, how do I feel on this diet? They start asking me. So yeah, and I just share my stories. It's sort of like a less like a suspicious, I'd say. Yeah.
The story.
But I think still some people, some friends still worried about my cholesterol though. But I don't.
Does the body make cholesterol?
I think so. I believe so.
What does your body make that's harmful for you?
Right.
Nothing. Everything it makes, even fat. If your body makes fat, whether it's intramuscular or visceral or subcutaneous, is it pathologic or is it biologic?
Biologic.
Yeah. And do we men and women look for human beings that are sticks of no body fat at all? Is that the healthiest reproductive specimen?
No.
It's not.
Mm.
It's deadly. I mean, without boobs and breasts, and and women, gain weight in the hips because that's reproductive, and basically the enslavement of human beings by the enslavers, which essentially they're those that went around the world to plant cane sugar everywhere, and then tobacco and cotton and rice, and control the masses with sugars. And sugar is the most domesticating substance, and we're not addicted, by the way. We have no addictions. We've basically been force fed a message that has made us miserable. You are not broken. There's nothing wrong with you. You've been lied to, and the lie has been instilled in our brain. That's all it is. And then you become a drug addict or an alcoholic, or you have a food addiction. Is that the phrase, Dr. Nelson? I'm addicted. I have a food or disordered eating. Is that it? Is that the phrase that we tell people? Is our disordered eating something natural, or is it actually because we've been brainwashed since the day we were born, pretty much? So there's nothing wrong with you but basically, every time you say, I'm an addict, I have disordered eating, you live that. But you are powerful, and you are mighty, and you are lion, and you are capable of eating like the beast and the animal and the organism you are born to be. And that's what I think this message is for all of us. And Yukino, tell us a little bit why you came on and you're here to share your story.
Sugar.
Well, no, why are you here to share? Why are you sharing your story? What's your purpose?
Because I feel so much better than before. And actually, I really want everyone to know my experience to improve their health. Because when it comes to a disease, they always depend on a medication. Even my client, Because my client, who a lot of people take medication. It could be like a blood pressure. It could be like a diabetes. Some people take Ozempic as well, but I don't think it's right. It's not sustainable. And also, like, even like a body, like a muscle tightness or like just fatigue, it just not come from like, what you do. I mean, it come from their diet. So if they probably can improve their diet, they feel so much better. That's what I feel. That's why I'm here to share my story.
Is spending all day in the gym building your muscles healthy for us?
Oh no, it's excess.
And ultimately, do obese people have strong muscles? How much weight do they carry and work and walk and move and every day? If you are 100 pounds overweight, let's put 100-pound jacket on you and say, carry this around today.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You didn't think about that. Yes, that. Oh yeah.
Ultimately, this idea that you have muscle wasting is actually probably false. Even on GLP-1s, you're losing intramuscular fat. Now, GLP-1s are not good for you. It's kind of like driving a car or a motorcycle or a bicycle, across the country, and there are risks to all of it, right? And so the new addiction is GLP-1s that you must take for life, because I imagine, how many diets succeed for 85% of people, Dr. Nelson?
Not many, if any.
I mean, none, essentially, right? Because no matter what you do, does your body want you to be fat or skinny?
What do you think, Yukino?
Yeah. Skinny. No, but.
Well, yeah. I mean, isn't that our confusing? We're all confused, right?
Right.
Well, the Western medical system says you have to be skinny because being skinny means you're healthy, but in fact, if there's a war and there's no food for weeks or months or longer, would you rather be fat or skinny? Fat. And so our fear of fat is the biggest moneymaker of the world. And essentially, most people are like, well, I got to be skinny. And it is like the dumbest thing in the world. Sorry. But we've all been brainwashed that you are obese and you are ugly and you are unhealthy, which is not true. Visceral fat is not pathologic, it's biologic. Because the first place you deposit the liver fat is in the viscera, because you want to have a place to store it in order to utilize it every single day. You never use sugar or amino acids directly for energy. They must be converted to fat in the liver via insulin. And the science is complicated because we got to have someone with multiple degrees. Even my MD I'm not telling these stories because I've got an MD. It's because I'm a human being just like everyone else listening, reading, watching. And ultimately, we're all the masters of our lives. And nowadays, with our sharing of information, once only certain people could be allowed into the universities or the libraries of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Books were not allowed. You can't share this story, right? This is the master story, that we are lions, and now we have the ability to share this around the globe. And our declaration is scientism is worthless. I mean, we're not deficient. You don't need all these supplements. You're basically poisoned. Do we have some cues out there?
Yeah. Dr. Nelson has one. How has your skin, hair, or sleep changed since you began this journey?
So yes, actually, I should have told that story. My skin actually gets brighter. Somehow when I compare the photo when I was on vegan and then versus current phase, skin gets brighter. I don't know why, but probably I stopped eating sugar. That's probably the biggest thing. I know a lot of like, especially I'm Japanese, and a lot of Asian like to be like a white, like having a white skin. That they apply a lot of vitamin C to make skin brighter. But I don't do anything those kind of things. But just cutting off the plant sugar, my skin naturally get brighter. Um, Hair actually gets thicker. I think I lost a lot of hair when I was on vegan, but now I'm quite thicker. And sleep, I actually didn't see so much improvement in the beginning, but since I started increasing fat intake, like eating butter like a better, actually sleep gets so much better. Yes.
Awesome. The next question is this. Let's see, Dr. Kiltz. Some fat is okay, but some fat not good. Like fatty liver is not good. This is where people are confused. I think that's Elke.
Well, the liver's job is to make fat. If you cannot make fat, you die. So this is our struggle with all the science. It says things. So we eat primarily a low animal fat diet. Even most carnivores eat a primarily low animal fat diet. That means the majority of the food is missing the only true fat, which is raw animal fat. So you're eating lean meat, which is proteins and sugars, the glycocalyx. And the protein sugars, both of those go to the liver, amino acids and simple sugars, and insulin is sent from the pancreas to the liver to make fat. Very low density lipoprotein, which is essentially an adipocyte and or a chylomicron. And so the reason we have a fatty liver, which causes insulin resistance, because the liver is the converter of the amino acids and sugars to fat. And so our problem is we're force fed. We're force fed, and then we're making excess fat, if there is such a thing. It depends. If suddenly there's no food for a year and you're not 300 pounds, you're screwed. And so fatty liver, all livers have fat in them. It's like all subcutaneous tissue should have fat. All viscera should have fat. And ultimately we've been kind of lied to by a complexity. And then fat people feel depressed because they can't lose weight. And they feel like they're ugly and they're not accepted in this world because we've made something stupid, dumb. And we've been plopped into a small cage and delivered infinite food. We're like the goose. We've made it illegal to force feed geese, but it's more than acceptable to force feed a human being, which ultimately creates damage to the liver via glycation. The plants damage the liver because of poisons, and then the excess amino acids and sugars that never stop being delivered to the liver glycate and cause eventually they cause fibrosis, fatty liver, fibrosis, cirrhosis, and then death. And that's the simple story. There's no amount of fat that really we would say, oh, if you can't get up and move and go hunt and gather, that's trouble. That's a problem. But I don't think that is our real problem. Is glycation, hepatocellular damage, which causes insulin resistance first. That's our term, we call it. Scientism.
DC says happy birthday, by the way, Dr. Kiltz.
It's still my birthday.
It is.
Every day is a birthday for all of us, by the way. Every single day, we have the ability to be reborn. Reborn is understanding that God is within all of us, and we have the ability to love and forgive every single moment of our lives. Love. Thank you. Please forgive me. I love you. You're welcome. Ho'oponopono. And our ancient brothers and sisters from all around the globe, we're all the same. Biologically, we're all the same. Metabolically, all the same. Physiologically, all the same. That's it.
That's right. Here's another question. How much iodine should women be taking? Iodine deficiency is a big problem, I read.
Okay. All right. So we convince everyone you should take these things. There's no scientific evidence that that is absolutely true if you're on a proper human diet, as our good friend Ken Berry has so illustriously shared with us. But ultimately, our problem is likely not iodine deficiency, it's inflammation and the damage to the cellular structures that provide the manufacturing tools, and that's our biggest problem. That now, if you take extra iodine as a supplement is antimicrobial. You're suppressing the microbes. Iodine, think of betadine, very antimicrobial, which is exactly what you want because the gut microbes are not your friend. And so I don't think we have a iodine deficiency. We have an inflammatory, toxic diet in a plant protein, low fat diet. And so, this idea of what we measure levels. Is the problem the level, or is it the diet that causes the damage that maybe help it? Does the FDA state that taking supplements and vitamins cures disease, or do they say you cannot say that? Dr. Nelson, do you have any thoughts, or Alia, look it up?
I don't have any thoughts on this.
Ultimately, we don't know this answer of how much do you need. How do you prove that? Everyone has to come up. What they've done is they've come up with their theoretical. Someone has to pick a number, right? Pick a number. And remember, authorities like to pick numbers and put you in a pigeonhole. That's our problem. Authorities, which basically we are all in some way, we've been trained to listen and watch the authorities, because if you don't, you will be punished or burnt at the stake, or your license will be taken away or be shunned. They'll put on the newspapers or the social media that you're worthless, and then you'll be depressed because you don't have the strength of the gods, because it's been stripped away from you. But in fact, you have them. Nobody can take it away from you. That's the beauty of Jesus Christ. He said nobody can take your power because it's in every beautiful cell of your body.
There's a question for you here, Dr. Kiltz.
I read a story online recently that the Dr. Kiltz started eating plants recently after suffering colitis. Is this true? And then it continues. You say eating broccoli and asparagus is good.
Clickbait. Okay. Do I ever have a bite of those things? Sure. Dipped in butter, lots of it, but I have no reason or value. I maybe have a French fry, no skin and extra crispy, dipped in duck grease, mayonnaise, or sour cream, and with lots of salt and the grease from the steak or the fatty steak. And again, a simplified sugar is not our problem time to time, but so what happened was I got my CT angiogram, my CAC score, and all my blood work, and then I was told, everyone, "Oh, you're going to die." And I said, "What's the thing that must happen to all of us in order to die? Your heart must stop. You might be brain dead, but as long as your heart's beating, you're not dead." Many people have been sent to the morgue alive, by the way. Oops, we missed that one. But ultimately, the idea here is Occam's razor. The simple answer is the one: we're going to die. Make yourself the very best food and fertilizer. That's our job, and done with that. But I essentially eat bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream, salt, one meal a day, faith in God, and like to connect with Dr. Nelson and Alia and all of our brothers and sisters around the globe, for all of us, Yukino and others and everyone here. And our job is to share the message. Jesus Christ had 12 disciples that went around the globe and shared his message. And that's what we're all doing, the carnivore lifestyle. But again, you could eat plants and live the carnivore lifestyle. Fatty meat, salt water, eat less frequently, put a smile on your face, and tell the world how great you feel. And we don't need we have a coaching course. It's not complicated. It's really simple. Dr. Nelson, is there some complicated test everyone has to pass in order to be a coach of life?
No.
No. These expensive coaching courses that require you to take a test, it makes no sense. Our job is to pass everyone through the lion's way. And everyone is absolutely a coach. You don't need my degree or a coaching certificate in order to do that. You're a human being. As a human being, let's get up every day and share the message, the mighty message of why the faith and belief in God within all of us is powerful. Love and forgiveness is powerful. And again, eat plants if you want. That's okay. But if I would say that the least toxic thing is going to be a carnivore diet. Fatty meat, rare to raw.
We have a few more questions. Tracy, so does Dr. Kiltz have an opinion on Dr. William Davis super gut yogurt? Is it not a good idea?
It's not required. Dr. Davis is a good guy, and I've learned a lot from him. His Grain Brain, Wheat Belly, and all these books that these experts have written through stories. But I yogurt is okay, but the best thing is cream. Take that clotted cream and there's microbes everywhere, by the way. But this idea that you want to eat good microbes in order to battle the bad microbes, it's kind of like the wars of the world. Which one's good and bad? It all depends on what side you're on. It's all a story, a fictional story. That's it. But I don't use yogurts. Bacon, eggs, butter, beef, Kiltz's ice cream, salt, one meal a day. And I do love ice cream. And I do love coffee.
Oh,
I was off it for 2.5 years. Okay. Oh my God, coffee's bad for you. Well, living with another human being and driving a car and flying airplanes and walking across the street. Oh, taking a shower with all the slime on the bottom of the shower, the tub that you can slip and fall and die. We're domesticated through science. And who controls science? Rockefeller. And he's dead. The cartels of the world that manufacture all the foods and the drugs, the drugstores, and ultimately don't blame yourself, don't blame anyone else, don't blame anything. Just see the power within the message of the Mighty One, that you are the God, and gods can do everything and anything. Do you use spiritual practices, Yukino?
I wouldn't say I do, but I feel like, I don't know, yoga practice is spiritual practice. So I would say maybe I do. Yes.
I mean, you're a human being. Wouldn't you say our lives are built in spiritual practices, period? I don't care what religion or non-religion you are. We all live some spiritual systems, essentially. And I think that's truly who we are. Our mind, really, everything is mind game. The meme machine, what you put in the mind creates the life you live, and the evolution. I mean, basically, you learned about carnivore and then you practiced it. What did that do to your brain function?
make it get so much better, improve my brain function, I bet. Yeah.
I mean, is alcohol good for the brain?
No.
Do we make alcohol in the gut on a plant protein, low animal fat diet? Yes, we do. Auto brewery syndrome. And all of our children, and our mothers are making beer in their bellies, and the beer and alcohol is basically transported to their fetus, but it's also transported to the eggs and sperm of men and women that damage the glycocalyx of those beautiful molecules.
Wow.
It's really a complicated story, isn't it, Dr. Nelson? I always go to my friend Rick, Super Rick, Charger Mopar, Iguana Man, and I'm not going to make it to Melbourne today. I've got a meeting on the greens today, and I'm grateful, but ultimately, I always ask Rick, is it complicated? And Rick is the smartest man I know, by the way. Rick has more knowledge and intelligence than anyone I've ever met.
Let's take this last question before we.
Moriyama Sama, how long have you been carnivore diet? Do you prefer Australian beef or Japanese beef? From DC.
Okay. I've been on this diet for 21 months, so almost 2 years. Another 3 months will be 22 years. I prefer Australian beef. I think Japanese beef is quite nice, but I think Wagyu usually fed grain and corn. When I eat not grass-fed beef, I tend to have stomach issues. So I prefer Australian beef with, the grass-fed one.
If it moves, it's food. Simplicity. Carnivore Kevin. It's simplicity. And that's the beauty of this story. Terry, winner.
Congratulations. Terry P.
Kiltz Cup.
Kiltz Cup. Please
Kiltz
email
Cup.
me. Alia@drkiltz.com.
And by the way, ketones, acetyl-CoA, complexity. We actually run on fat. Fat is the only fuel of the body. Glucose is a glycosylating agent, and look up glycobiology in the glycobiome. But yeah, it's like we're truly complicated. You need to measure your serum glucose all the time. How much does that cost?
Too much money.
It's ridiculous. It's again, invest in the beauty of life every single day, and the mind is the master. That's simply it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that it's simplicity. Yukino, where can people find your message if we want to just search what you're sharing in this world?
Yes, thank you. I have an Instagram account. It's called Carnivorous UK. So I share my carnivore story, my meal. So if you're interested in, please follow my Instagram.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Dr. Nelson, thank you. Alia, thank you. And to everyone here today, grateful to you. And so many people who sent me messages and of birthday wishes, and each day of our lives is a rebirth. And look in the mirror and say, thank you, God, Lord Creator, I love you. And when we love ourselves, for whatever size, shape, age, weight, gender, whatever description you want, I don't care. Love thyself, thy neighbor, thy enemy, because they are all made in the mind. Simple.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're so welcome. We're so happy to have you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, all.